Today is finally the day we are taking the R53 for an MOT. So yes, it's been a long journey with this car, but today we are getting it MOT'd, and I've done a little bit of work to it. I've not recorded it, I've not shown you guys, but since we've done the leaks, I've put the bumper back on and the crash bar and everything, and then I've also put the seats back in the car. We don't have the headliner because we're not sure what we're doing with the car yet, but we've put the seats back in so it's ready for an MOT. Now, all being well, if the MOT goes well today, then we'll be also able to take the car out for a first drive and get an idea of essentially what we've built here. We've taken it from where it was, essentially a car that could have been taken to the scrapyard, to hopefully a car that is now roadworthy. So guys, not how I expected things to be going on the way to the MOT. So guys, we just got back with the car and let's talk about it because we couldn't even get an MOT done. So like I say, we're on the way to the MOT centre and everything was running fine. Suddenly, the car started limping a little bit. When I was trying to put my foot down on the throttle, it just basically just started to judder like it was just misfiring. Then it threw up an EML light and one other light and an airbag light. So if I turn the car to second position, this light come on, the EML. We had the airbag light come on, and then we've also got, I think it's the tyre, maybe the tyre pressure, or no, that's the ABS light, sorry, that's come on as well, I believe. Anyway, so those lights have all come on. So I got to the MOT centre, they sent us to another garage, literally 50 metres down the road or something stupid, to just basically reset the codes, because that's what we thought it was, from where we've been unplugging stuff, plugging things back in, this, that and the other. Did that. It got rid of the airbag light, which is brilliant, but the EML light was still on, and so was a couple of others. And there was a couple of codes that came up, and we were looking at like a 1692, a 1693, O2 sensor, which I think the O2 sensor just needs tightening up a little bit more into the exhaust. But the 1692 and 1693 is a bit of a confusing one because it says something to do with maybe the electronic and the throttle body system. So we've now basically got to do some more work to find out why these things have been flagged up. Because like I say, we can't clear them. So clearly something else is going on. So I've checked over this sensor here, which Gary from Thor Motorworks has helped me out with. He said this is quite an important one and there's actually a pipe underneath, but that seems to be fine. And the other one is potentially the throttle body. So I need to basically, I'm going to pull this hose off because I do wonder if the AirTech intake has caused a problem. I don't know if basically while putting it on and stuff, it's basically messed around with the throttle body because there is a seal in there somewhere. I think it's the other side though, but I don't know if moving it about has been an issue. Now, what we need to remember as well is this car sat for 9 years, and we did find, if you are an OG, you'll know we actually found some like mouse droppings in the cabin filter. So there could be wires in there that have been chewed through, but those lights were not on the car. They weren't on, they weren't activated, they weren't on the dash until we did some of the work. And like I say, we've tried to clear it. So either I have forgotten to plug something back in, which I don't think I did, or it's something else. Now, the other thing is when Gary was here last time, we forgot to plug this back in, which was why the car wouldn't start. We got this fully plugged in and things went well, but I did drop him a message and he said that 1692 and 1693 code are linked to the ECU. And then we have been having other issues with the ECU, like the starting and also something to do with the door. So it could be an issue there with actually the ECU having a problem, but I am going to check the wiring on that first. So what I'm going to do is start to pull some of this apart, get to work and, well, see if we can get everything sorted. Right, okay, so I've took the intake off and I've checked all the hoses. I'm just making sure that I've not left anything unclipped. If you see anything unclipped, then I've unclipped it, basically. So, yeah, don't think that I've left it unclipped. So I just took the throttle body off. There's an orange seal underneath. I think it's fine. Looks fine. There is also another one down here, but I don't think that's the problem because I've looked online and if there was idling issues, then you'd know, but there isn't any issue really at idling. The car idles fine, doesn't really misfire, only misfires under power. So I've just checked the orange seal on the throttle body. Throttle body looks fine. Just need to put this bracket back on here. I don't know if it's the intake. Now, obviously what makes me think it's the ECU is because, like I say, when Gary was here, basically we had the issue with the car starting, and then we've had some issues with the immobilizer. So the immobilizer, basically, if I unlock the car, I can only do it with the key. So the key's lost connection to the ECU. So supposedly you have to like get that reconnected somehow. If I unlock the car with the key and then don't basically put the key in the ignition fairly quickly, the alarm will just go off. If I unlock the driver's side with the key, and then if I go over to the passenger side and open the door, sometimes the alarm will just go off. The only way to disable it is by putting the key in the ignition. So clearly there's an issue there, and it could be due to the immobilizer with the ECU, from the battery being disconnected for a certain amount of time. I don't really know. So I am tempted to look at getting a different ECU as a way around it. So while I'm putting this back together, what I've also done is I've shortened this hose, because not that it was causing any issues, but there was a bit of a kink in it. I think the issues are coming from the ECU. When you look up the two codes, which are the big ones, the P1692 and P1693, they do say about issues being with the ECU. And if I get my phone, I'll just read out one that I actually sent to Gary a minute ago, because we were discussing this when we had the issue. So P1692 and P1693 can be an issue, both when they're showing that it's possible faults within the ECU, or on some models, communication issues with the immobilizer / transmission system. So I think it's an issue with the ECU, because like I say, when the battery was disconnected for a while, when it was sitting, and we then tried to reconnect it and start it, and it wouldn't start. It eventually did get started, but I just think that's the problem. So there is a way around it. So car started up fine, so it's all buttoned up back together. And if you listen to it, right, can you hear that high-pitched whine? I think that is just a supercharger, because when it gets warm, it does kind of settle down. But idling sounds fine. To me, I might be wrong. Some of you might be listening to this going, Christ, can you not hear that? It's when we drive it, so when I was driving it earlier, between 2,000 to 3,000 RPM, it just is like, it's just stuttering. It's not running right, it's misfiring. So ECU could be a leak, and yeah, we need to have a decision on what we're going to do here. So something else, if I give it a little rev, and I'm not going to do too much because the car's not really warm, but what you'll find is when it comes back down to what should be idling, which is about 1,000 RPM, it will sometimes drop below and nearly cut out. So let me just show you. Hang on. So you see that? It's like slightly cutting out. Let's go again. Wait for it. It just feels like the engine's going to die when I do that. So I do think something's not right somewhere. Just don't know what. So there's two things that could be going on here. Again, number one is ECU, which we've covered. The other one could be contributing to it, but I don't think it's the main factor, is these intercooler boots are potentially leaking, which could be causing a boost leak, which obviously is not going to be a good thing. So the first option that I'm thinking, and it's probably going to be the one I'm going to go for, is to change the ECU. But we have a few choices here, because I can go and get a plug and play ECU, so people will take blank ECUs and then copy essentially the map on. And what it does is it just removes the immobilizer side of things. We can go for a standard one, or we can go up to a JCW one. But this would mean we need to get some 380cc injectors as well. But it would mean that the car would be running a JCW map, which I think is like 210 brake from what I've read. So we have those two options for the car, but what that means is it's probably a good time to tell you guys something. This isn't the planned way of me telling you, but because today has not gone very well, and we're now having to potentially make changes with the ECU and other things. And again, if we've got these leaking, we need to change these over. I want to tell you guys that we are going to be making this car into a track build. So if you followed the channel for a while, you know that I have a Mitsubishi Evo, which is my fun weekend car. So when I got the Mini, it was a project and I wasn't too sure what I was going to do with it. It was either going to be getting it back together and maybe selling it and moving on to the next project, but you guys are loving it. And so am I. And we've done so much with this car, I feel like it would be a waste. So we are going to be making this car into a track car. And we've already started, because I don't know if you spotted it earlier in the video, but where we've put the seats back in, the carpets have not gone back in, but we have this SW Motorsport footplate for the driver's side, which we need to just get riveted in. But this is going to be replacing the carpet, and we haven't put the headliner in either. We've tried to clean it as best as we can, and we've actually started to strip out, well, we've stripped out the interior, and we're going to leave it like this. We've got a little bit going on, but we're going to leave some of it exposed, a bit more like a track car would be. Now, I love motorsport as well, so for me, being able to take this to the track, and if this channel grows enough, honestly, I would love to get this car into Time Attack. Honestly, I would love to compete, I don't know, in something like the Pocket Rocket series or whatever, and it takes a lot with sponsorships and other things, but if this channel could grow to the point where I could then maybe fund doing Time Attack or, you know, have some sponsors come on board, I would definitely be taking this on, because like I say, we've done a lot of work to it. It's just a few teething issues now, but this is where we have this final decision. What are we going to do? So we can either go for a standard kind of ECU, but it's like a plug and play, or we can go and get the JCW one and some 380cc injectors. That will give us around the 210 brake power. Then we have the reduced pulley already of 15%. We've got the intake, and we do have some other bits as well, which are going to be going on the car. Like I say, we've already started stocking up some parts for this car for the track build. And I've kind of got a date in sight for the first track day, but this might have put a little bit of a stopper in the plans. But I need you guys to give me some help. Do we go for the JCW ECU, or do we just get a stock one, put it in, make sure it is that issue, get it running? Because that's probably going to be a cheaper option than buying the JCW one and some injectors, and then it doesn't resolve the issue. But I suppose at least we'd have more power, right? Which could be fun. So yeah, what do you guys think I should do? Let me know in the comments. And also, if any of you guys have any ideas what might be going on here, please let me know, because I'm stumped. I do think it's the ECU. I'm probably going to take a gamble on that, but it's just deciding which one we go for. And yeah, there you go, guys. I've announced to you that we are going to be turning this car into a track project, which is why I was sensible with my Miltech exhaust choice, because I knew it might be an option I was going to do going forward. So this gives us a plan moving forward. And something else we actually found out today from driving it is that I don't think the fan is kicking in properly to cool the car. So again, teething issues, it's not too bad, but it's annoyed me because I honestly thought we were going to get the MOT done today. And then the plan was to tell you guys in the next video that we are starting the track build and what we're doing with it. But we've done that today because it means that I can get you your guys' opinion on the best move, should we say, forward in terms of what should we do with the ECU and the car and everything else. But also, it's why you guys are going to be able to start looking and going, hang on a minute, he's got no carpet and he stripped out half of this and there's a footplate in there and that's not normal. So, you know what, I thought, let's just tell you guys, and I'm excited. I'm absolutely hyped to get this thing on track and see what it can do. So like I say, not the best outcome for the video for today, but we found some teething issues. It means we can work on that, and the cat is out the bag that I want to be getting this car on track. And I know, like some of you have said, you want to just see this thing on the road, but I've got my road car, I've got my Evo, so this thing for me is going to be a track toy. And it was either going to be that or probably end up getting rid of it and getting another track toy. And loads of you love this car, so I know you guys want to see it, and some of you have actually reached out and already said, like, I want to see you track it, then do more performance mods, then track it and more performance mods. And like I say, that could be what leads me to something like Time Attack, which would be absolutely awesome. And like I say, like, comment, share, subscribe, tell everyone, tell a friend, all those sorts of things. We'll see you in the next one very, very soon, when hopefully we'll have some better news with the Mini. Peace out.
you.